Hi folks, welcome back to the shop. Today I want to talk about power inverters or power supplies. Here I have a Milwaukee Top-Off. It's designed to be put on top of Milwaukee 18-volt batteries. Got a rafter hook here on the side. You can pop out and hang it up wherever you need to hang it up. That's handy. And I like the fact that it's very compact. Excellent inverter. So the idea of these inverters, and I've got two here. You'll notice I have one here from Ego as well, that you take your 18-volt battery from the Milwaukee, for example. Bottom here's got a groove. You just slip it on, and you slide it right up into the battery, and now you can tap into this battery's power. I've got 3 bars on this battery to have either 120-volt AC power up to 175 watts. And to get that, you just push the on button. You see how the fans spin up a little bit, and you can see the power plug comes on. And then you can also turn on USB here for the back. Just touch it and it comes on. And I don't know if we can show that or not. Yeah, it's lighting up. The USB light comes on. Now, in the back we have both USB-A, okay, here on this side, USB-A. And then the other side, of course, we have USB-C, okay, which would be the preferred power that you would want, of course, on this side. Higher output. I think this side, the USB-C does up to 45 watts, which is pretty impressive for charging your iPhone or your mobile devices, you name it. Really good for that. Now, the reason I bought this Milwaukee Top-Off, is because, look, originally I bought this Ego power inverter, and this one is rated at 150 watts, and you can see, and they still sell it today, but it only has USB-A, there's no USB-C. And of course, it's clearly rated at 150 watts. But I just did not have a good experience with this inverter. You can see, similar to the Milwaukee, you take a battery, get your battery going here, it slides right on the battery, and then you turn it on. Okay, you get the green light there. It indicates that it's ready to go. So I thought this would be a better inverter because these batteries have so many more cells than a Milwaukee battery would. But I can tell you that it did not perform nearly as well as I thought. So for example, this would not run a 65-inch Sony TV, okay? But this would, to my amazement. And there was this, for example, you could hook up to an LED lamp, like a 3-way light bulb, LED light lamp bulb, standard household lamp. The light would flicker, I think because of the wave sign of this particular unit. So flicker, not really provide good light. This one here, pretty solid. Maybe a little bit of flickering, super minor, you're really not visible to the eye. So this thing by far outperformed the Ego power inverter. Now, if you're not aware, Ego has come out with a new inverter that's about $50 more than this one. Like I said earlier, this one's rated at 150 watts. Okay, the new one is rated at 400 watts. And it looks really nice. They probably made a bunch of improvements on it, I would imagine. I noticed that the new inverter from Ego has fans on it. And it, just like the Milwaukee does, and it probably performs better. But I can tell you this, if you look at Amazon right now at the new Ego 450 watt inverter and look at the review numbers, and they got 4.3 stars on the Ego 450 watt power inverter, whereas this Milwaukee, I think, is 4.8 stars on Amazon.com. So that tells you something. I've seen all kinds of positive reviews on this Milwaukee. One thing about this Ego, by the way, it does have a handle. The idea there is that it's kind of an offset handle. You'll notice it's not in the center of the Ego. That's so when you pick it up, it's supposed to balance out a little bit because there's more weight of the battery on one end versus the other. So that's the idea of why that handle's offset. But again, it's something that makes it, just one of those things that makes it a little bit more awkward. And I think the new inverter has a similar style design with the handle. Now, like I said, a lot more cells in here. This guy here, I think, has something like 14 cells. Well, this one's actually a 5 amp hour, isn't it? Right, so this one's going to have like 28 cells in it. So because there's 28 1850 cells in here, I just thought this would provide a better power source, longer runtime. It's a bigger battery, right? In layman's terms, it's a bigger battery than this Milwaukee battery. This is I do have a Milwaukee high output 6 amp hour battery here, so it has larger cells than this one does. 18650s in here, 21700s in this battery, but a lot less cells. But the bottom line is, the Top-Off, this Milwaukee Top-Off, has been designed and engineered better than this Ego power inverter. So I kind of just basically gave up on the Ego. The other great thing is you can charge a laptop directly with this USB-C port. Both of these are high output fast charges for your iPhone. I can just grab the packaging here real quick. See if I can show you that. It came in this sort of blister pack. If you look here, yeah, 75 watts. It's just a quick look at the front. And I think it gives us our numbers here. Yeah, on the back. So you can see up to, on USB-A, you get up to 12 watts. Actually, up to 15 watts. I'm sorry, on USB-A. They show 12, and then they show 15. And then up to 15 volts, 3 amps here, which is, 3 times 15, that's going to be 45 watts. So up to 45 watts on USB-C. So that's where you get those, the really fast charges for your mobile devices. So just a quick word on the Milwaukee Top-Off. Again, I made the mistake of not buying it the first time, thinking it wouldn't perform as well, but it has certainly gotten great rave reviews, and I think it's certainly outperformed the Ego by far. And just a quick sort of look around here, you see it does have a fan. The fan is a little noisier than I anticipated. I thought it would be quieter. In fact, I considered returning it because I thought maybe I just had a noisy fan on mine, but it turns out they're all that way. Not incredibly noisy, but just louder than I thought it would be. Louder than a laptop fan, I would say. All the way around the unit here. It's one trip around. And, if it does overload, there's a couple indicators here. So I think this is for temperature, over temperature, and this will come up if you put, you ask it to do something it can't do, you're requiring too many watts, it'll just light up and trip it, not a big deal. You push this button to reset it if it trips. So, but a handy way to tap into your power tool batteries, and again, as I said earlier, it's really interesting that it performs so well in such a small package. So, it's something that's very handy to have with you and make use of your batteries. I've seen people put power strips on here. I had it hooked up to a docking station, a laptop, a couple monitors, and charging, I think, a couple iPhones all at once, no problem. And so that's one thing I did. And like I said, it ran a 65-inch Sony TV, no problem. And I was shocked, actually. I didn't expect it to do that. So with that said, just a quick word on the Milwaukee Top-Off. I'll have a link to this in the description. And, let me know in the comments what you think. If you had a good experience with this, if you tried it out, you've been thinking about buying it. And with that said, please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next video.